Hey, Grandmasters, Mike from the WCA. I want to give you a quick tutorial about the Tactics Trainer. It's under Puzzles when you get to chesskid.com. When you get in there, you just click Start, and at some point you'll see the screen that will pop up, and you will also see over here the instructions. It says your move as white. Usually when that happens, if you're white, they'll play black's last move, and it's just your turn to figure out what's going on. So I have this recording at full screen, so hopefully you guys see all the dialog boxes and things that I'm kind of toggling over. This is a pretty simple move, right? It looks like I can just take the rook in one move, and I have checkmate. When you solve a puzzle, it's going to say solved. And my rating is at 447 in this particular account that I'm using. It starts at 200 on ChessKid. The quicker you solve these, the more points you get. And generally, the machine is going to give you points quickly to get your rating up. If you're new to chess, if you're brand new, it would have taken you a long time to find that checkmate, so the computer's not going to give you as many points. Once it sees that you're solving them, it'll give them to you much, much quicker. Okay. So what you just saw happen is I click the next button, black just moved, it's my turn as white. Okay, this is a pretty cool position because this poor bishop here for black is totally locked in. This king can try to come out at some point, which he will, but I want to be able to take this bishop. So I can't take it because the king is here, but I have a pawn. Did you guys see this guy down here? If I move it, black is in big trouble. The only thing he can do is go back and forth with his king if he doesn't want to lose this bishop. And if he comes out to stop my pawn, then I'm going to take his bishop, and then I'm going to come here or here and grab this pawn, then this pawn, and you know what's going to happen next. So it's still asking me to move, so you'll see that it wants me to prove that I know what's going on. So it says correct, and if black moves again, you're not done. So what do? We just keep pushing the pawn. The king goes back, push the pawn. The bishop blocks, and now you have to be careful. Wow, this is really difficult. What if I make that a queen? Yikes. If I make it a queen, what's the bishop going to do? It's going to be pinned. Holy cow. What if I make it a rook? The bishop's going to be pinned. That's going to be a stalemate, right? So I think the only thing to do is maybe turn this into a knight, and it says solved. Wow, this is a pretty hard puzzle. Okay, so once it says solved and you see the rating change, then you know it's over, okay? So what would have happened if this were a real game? The bishop would have had to have come here, and then we can take the pawn with the knight check. The king can move out of the way, we move out of the way, and we're going to have a pawn to run. Okay, when you solve one of these guys, click next, and wait for the machine to load the next puzzle. My machine computer's a little slow tonight. Okay, so who just moved? The white king. That means we're black. We have to find something to do. Do you see a checkmate? I don't. Should we put our rook here and fight for the open file? Nope. There's a free piece here. And that's the kind of stuff you want to pick up when you play. All right? So we're going to recommend that you do these things in 15-minute sessions. I'm not exactly sure how long this video is going to run. I just want to give you an idea of what the stronger kids in the class are doing, exactly what you see here. And a good 15-20-minute session without any distractions, that means no younger brother or sister hanging around. Oh boy, I see checkmate in 2 moves. I found it really fast because I'm a genius? No, I found it fast because I know the pattern. Roos is a genius. Yeah, you see, you can tell her I said something nice about her. I usually don't. I always blame everything that goes wrong on her. Well, you know, she can take it. Checkmate in 2 moves. Do you see it? We're going to give a check. King has to go in the corner. And then you guys should see mate in 1, okay? And there's the checkmate. I gained 16 points for that. I'm up to 494. Awesome. Now, I'm going to make a mistake on the next puzzle on purpose because I want to show you something. Okay, here the bishop just moved and attacked our knight. Well, if it was your move in this position, what could you do? I happen to see mate in 1 because I know that whenever one of our knights gets very close to the king, always look for the squares that the knight is protecting. It's protecting h7, it's attacking g7. So if it's really attacking or guarding that square, we have another piece that could use it. So if I were to drop my queen, now I've dragged the mouse, so if I let go, it's going to say solve, but I'm going to pretend I sneezed, achoo, and dropped it here by mistake. You see how it says wrong? It's kind of mean. It actually, like even the spelling and the way they wrote it, it's like, oh, they didn't give me any stars up here, and even the horse over here looks upset at me. Hey, I'm sorry, guys, I sneezed. Anyway, I lost 30 rating points. Please don't skip when you mess up. When you mess up, click retry. It's going to give me a chance to redeem myself, which I will do. So here is the checkmate. It says solve, but you'll also notice there's no rating change. They're not going to give you the rating points because you messed up. It's like in a real chess game. If you mess up, you tell your partner, hey, look, you know, man, I didn't mean to play that move. Let me take it back. I have a better one. Your opponent's going to be like, sure, yeah, just do whatever you want, right? I don't think so. So there's the checkmate, no rating change. You get the stars, you have this horse, you gave him a chance to smile, but no rating change. Click next. Don't be lazy. Don't do this for 5 minutes ago. I've done enough. No, you haven't. What do we do here? Oh boy, look at that. Should we take the rook? I don't think so. It's queen and rook against queen and rook. Always look for every check and capture. I can take the rook. I better not. Look for every check. There's one here. The only way to get out, they have to give away the queen. And there's a back rank checkmate. All right? We take the queen. We gain a few points. Look at that. All right. I'm not going to finish yet because I want to start going through, as these puzzles get harder, the thinking that's involved to solve them. Because some of you guys say, oh, but the machine doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to look for. Is it a mate, or am I looking for, you know, tactics to win something? Well, that's what happens in real games, right? Your opponent doesn't whisper in your ear, hey, you know, you can take a piece here. You have to find stuff. You know, that's what the tactics are for. The puzzles are for. So here's mate in 1. It's just a pattern you have to know. The knight, again, is attacking and controlling squares in the enemy camp. Do you have another piece that can work with the knight? Well, you do. Here's your rook. You see the mate? Hopefully you did. And we're going to gain a few points. I would have gained more. It only gave me 1. If there's a mate in 1 move on the board and you don't find it pretty quickly, the machine's going to think you're kind of a beginner. And since you've been coming to the WCA, you know you're not a beginner. So you should be getting them a little faster, but don't rush. You know, it's like one of those times the teachers say, don't bring the queen out early. And then you see a grandmaster bring the queen out early and you come and yell at us. You have to figure out what to do. Our turn is black. Hopefully you're finding this pretty quickly. We could take a rook and play this endgame a piece up, but it's not so clear, right? Because there's a whole bunch of pawns for white. So if we traded rooks, we would have a lot of work to do, but I see mate in 1. Look at every check and capture. There's your checkmate. Okay? Gain 2 points. Let's get this rating up to 500 and then I'll call it a day. But I want to see you guys on Sunday come in and with some really good work. Right away you should see the checkmate here. This pawn does a nice job of blocking the queen. The king, you should be used to seeing kings that don't have escape squares up here. It should not take you long to find that move. All right? 495. I'm getting close to the magic mark, 500. Okay. White to play. I see mate in 2. Again, I'm a genius, so you might not find it so fast. Oh, anyway. You guys see it? Rook takes rook. The bishop has to take. And then Big Mama takes the bishop. Checkmate. Rook takes. Wait for the bishop to take. Big Mama takes. And look at that. I broke 500. All right. I want to do a couple of more. I lied. Mr. A, come on. You said 5 minutes. Or 500. I totally lied. This bishop is a monster. You should be used to seeing bishops like this. Even if this were a pawn, it would be just an awesome pawn because it's guarding all the escape squares. The king has no escape squares. When you start seeing that in your games, it's not like magic. It doesn't always work, but when you happen to notice your opponent doesn't have escape squares, look for checks on the back rank. Checkmate. Only 1 point because I spent all that time explaining that to you. God, my rating should be so much higher. Anyway, queen check. That's not nice. Look at her checking the king. There are 3 ways to get out of a check. You can block it. I could block with the pawn. You can move the king. I could move the king. Or you can take the piece that's checking you. What should we do? Hopefully all of you birds see that. Okay, click next. I heard that, by the way. One of you just said, I'm bored. I know this already. Oh, really? You see the mate? Yeah, knight here was a bad move. They blocked the king's escape. Just check. Block. Take. And mate. Well, the rook could block, but you would just take it. All right, one more. Maybe. All right, this is a live session of tactics training. You have no idea how nervous I am because if I mess up, you know who's going to yell at me, right? Rusa. You guys all know Rusa, right? She's very nice. Yep, I wonder what she just said. I see mate in 1. Do you? Look for checks. Look for captures. The bishop is attacking our knight. Should we run away? No. Is the knight attacking squares near the king? Yes. Can it be supported by another piece or used by another piece? Checkmate. Brilliant. And this I mean for real. Final answer. Or final puzzle. Here we go. Queen. Oh, that's not good. Should we take the rook? No. Should we run away? We could. But again, I see we have a minor piece here guarding squares or attacking squares in the opponent's position. I see mate in 2. You just block or check with the queen. The rook has to block. Take the rook with the queen, and it was solved. Okay? I don't know as I'm recording this the quality of the screen because I'm making a really big capture today so that you can see all this stuff. So hopefully it came out. Please use this program. That's the assignment for the Chess Kids this week. Go on chesskid.com, get to the puzzle section, do exactly what you saw here, and solve as many puzzles as you can. I would recommend a couple of 15-minute sessions, minimum 15 minutes, because if you can't sit still and concentrate for 15 minutes, think about what's going to happen when you play your games. The opposite of that, the longer you can sit and focus, the better you'll play. All right, we'll see you guys Sunday.